go for a ride. G'day, my name is Joel Curtis and welcome to the Tune Up. Well, g'day everyone, welcome to the Tune Up podcast. Joining me today, I have a really special guest who has a really significant story that I'm very keen to share. So welcome, Sue Walter. Thank you for jumping in the Datto and coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
A pleasure, and thank you for inviting me, Joel.
No problems at all. Now, there's a couple of things. Sue and I have known each other for a while, and she will explain how we tie in. But just out of interest, I know that you were, through your endeavours through the foundation and through your life, you were awarded a Order of Australia medal, is that right?
Right, an AM.
An AM, right. Yes. So my question to you is, formally, how do I introduce you? Are you like Her Majesty or Dame Sue or Her Royal Highness Sue?
No,
with an AM, how does that work?
Just the same person.
Really?
You just got a little pin. You just wear it when you go to meetings.
No,
I probably could have worn it too.
I was going to say, no formal title like Dame Sue Walter?
No,
nothing like that. That's a shame. I would have thought after all that effort and energy, they'd give you like some sort of title. But anyway, the first person in the car that has an AM, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to, I'm forever getting in trouble for not formally announcing people, but I just wanted to make sure there was no formalities.
Formalities.
No formalities.
All
good.
informal.
Okay. So still Sue, even
Yes.
with the AM,
Yep.
still Sue. Good.
Yep,
Okay.
that's
Great.
it.
Okay. Good. I'm glad we've established that. Now, I also wanted to ask. I didn't know, but through our journeys, you talking about your adventurous background, and I didn't realise that you were such a wild child back in the day. So I'm very keen to talk about that.
How you heard about that?
Well, the walls have ears, so so just from talking to people, and anyone that knows Nana Joy would probably understand that the adventurous gene and the wild child gene sort of flows nicely through the family. So
It does.
So I always start by asking people about their first car, and I'm interested, you were talking earlier about several first cars that you've had.
Several. So my first
give us some background on that.
My first car was a Morris.
No way.
It wasn't a minor, it was not a major, it was an in-between, whatever it was. Probably similar age to the Datto.
Fair enough, okay.
And learned how to drive that on the 4-speed manual.
Oh, wow, okay. On the floor, or was that on the...
Yeah, on the floor.
Really?
Yeah, on the
okay.
floor. And my sister, I've got a twin sister, so
yes.
we share cars.
Oh, okay.
We had a car between us.
Really?
Which is very economical.
Yep. Caused many fights?
No, not at all.
No, really?
No, we get on
Twin
very
sisters
well.
that don't fight?
Exactly. Yep.
Wow.
We get on very
that's
well.
a first.
Yeah. And we had a mini minor.
Really?
And then we ended up with a Falcon. So
Is that
we're
right?
Falcon people.
Wow, okay,
Yes.
so Ford people?
Ford people.
Okay, all right, well, there's no accounting for taste, but all right.
I knew you'd say that.
So give us a little bit about the Sue background. As I said, I want to talk a little bit more about the foundation, and I want to come to that, but in terms of prior to the foundation, give us a little bit about the Sue Walter backstory.
I was actually a little bit of a wild child.
See, I was right. I did hear some stories.
Came from a family with a very strict upbringing.
Okay, yeah.
And got to the age of 17 working.
Okay.
And still being restricted on what I could do and not do.
Okay.
And so I decided it was time to leave home.
Wow.
So I left home.
Okay.
And didn't go down well because I was only 17.
Oh.
And in those days you couldn't leave home at 17. So I had to wait till I was 18 and then I went.
Wow.
Went to Western Australia with a boy
who
was not accepted by the family.
Okay.
That was a bit tricky, but I just needed to spread the wings.
Fair enough, okay.
Look back now and think, it's probably not such a good idea, but anyway, it was a bit of fun. And then I hitchhiked back from Perth to Sydney.
No way.
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that sort of, it was a few good life lessons in that experience.
Yeah. And, absolutely.
Wow. So that was only a small part. Like I had an amazing childhood actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Fabulous family with very caring, loving parents.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. My dad unfortunately lost his dad when he was only 6.
Okay.
So he was a very protective person,
and rightly
was
so.
feared losing.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He probably needed a bit of psychological help.
Yeah. Well, back in the day.
Yeah. You just have to go up tough.
Exactly right. Yep.
And
exactly right.
he just wanted to protect his family. And he had a strong-willed daughter that thought it was time to be able to do what she wanted to do, not what he wanted her to do. So, but we sorted it out. It was only a small little pip in the whole of our lifetime.
There you go.
We had a fabulous relationship. And,
okay.
Yeah, he was a beautiful person.
Okay.
Yeah, just loved his family, and that was his whole life was his family. Grow up, and you know, you get older, and then you start having your own children.
Yes.
You can absolutely understand why he was like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
okay.
it made it a bit tougher. I've got two brothers that I think he was more harder on them than what he was on myself and my sister. So unfortunately, unfortunately it created problems for them. So particularly one of my brothers, he's got he's bipolar, and he's got quite a lot of mental health issues, unfortunately. And I think a lot of it stems from a pretty hard childhood. Look, and unfortunately, psychologists see that a lot, where kids grow up in certain environments, and that can be really negative in terms of their mental health. But as you say, there's always reasons for that, and as kids, you don't understand that. You don't, and unfortunately, I don't know whether it's more so boys or because I've got a twin sister, we were able to sort of share things and you know work with each other and whatever. But you know, my brothers, I think they needed a bit more hugging and being told that they're loved, things like that, instead of you know cracking the whip and saying just pull yourself together, suck it up, you know, boys don't cry.
Exactly right.
So.
Well, that's the stock standard thing of the day, wasn't it? You know, it's a tough era between wars and depressions and all those sort of things. It's a tough era to grow up in, so it's a common story. So
which is sad. So unfortunately, but you know, unfortunately, it's affected his life for the whole of his life. And but we make the most of what we can. And
absolutely. Okay. What do you learn growing up from that environment? You know, like as you say, you're a bit of a wild child and had some adventures, which is certainly some good things, but I guess then as you get older, what do you take out of that experience?
Well, out of the experience for me, one of the things that I always thought was when I had children, I wanted to bring them up a bit differently to the way that I was brought up. So I looked at what can I learn out of this experience that I didn't learn, that I felt that I could do a better job. And so, you know, like there was a lot more open communication and I wanted my kids to feel that they could come and talk to me about anything and feel that they were able to make decisions for themselves. Sometimes they needed to be guided a little bit, you know, but I hope they feel that it was a better upbringing. I've got a great relationship with my daughter, so...
So something you were able to do, was that a conscious decision that you made to try and be a little bit different or pick out the better parts?
Definitely a conscious decision. And, you know, over a lifetime, probably in the last 20 odd years, I've done a lot of motivation, self-motivation, you know, different sorts of courses, things like that, which I think help to make you a better person. Look at the world a little bit differently. But it takes real courage to do that, doesn't it? To sort of step out of your history and be different. That's, for sure. And it puts you through the paces, that's for sure.
It does. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Wow. And that's fantastic, Sue. And as I said, something you should be really proud of, to be able to step out of that history, because as I said, I see that a lot in my work. And
I'm sure.
Unfortunately, a lot of the work we do is upbringing in childhood and the issues that can cause. So.
Unfortunately, history repeating itself instead of it being able to be changed.
Absolutely.
But you've got to realise, I think, that what you don't like and then realise what you have to do to make a change, don't you?
Absolutely you do. And so speaking of motorcycles, it's something that obviously has sort of flavoured through your life, and obviously that's how you and I came into, well, obviously Mum and Dad knew you, and obviously they've got a history with yourself too, but you and I came into being through motorcycling. So I wanted to share a little bit about your story in terms of not just your adventures in it, but how that came to be with motorcycles and the foundation.
So, well, to start back where motorcycling first started, so I obviously love riding.
Of course,
but the motorcycle went when I came along, being the good child. But when Stephen came along, friends of ours, Stephen, my son, came along, and we had some friends that we used to go away forward driving, camping with and whatever, and they had boys that were 5 and 10 years older than Steve. And they got a little motorcycle. So we used to go away, and the kids used to ride in the bush, and that's how it all started.
There you go.
So I sort of encouraged Steve to, you know, and he loved it. Like, he loved riding his push bike. He was only 4, I think, when he first got on a motorcycle.
Is that
like
right?
just as a
mini bike. Yeah. Oh, as a pillion.
As a pillion.
Oh wow, okay.
So then he had the love of it, and then we ended up joining the mini bike club, the PCYC mini bike club out of Penine.
Yep.
And so he actually started riding himself when he was 9, had his own bike and everything when he was 9. So that's where the motorcycling came from, and he had a real talent for it, you know.
There you go. So then Steve gets older, and that's sort of where the foundation comes into.
That's right. So
yeah,
Steve,
I wanted you just to share a little bit about that.
Steve, when he was 11, unfortunately was diagnosed with a Ewing sarcoma, which is a solid bone tumour in his leg. Yeah. And, you know, obviously it was disastrous.
Yeah, of course.
He was only really given a 20% chance of survival.
That's horrendous.
And went through his 12 months of chemo and got him into remission. And if you get to 5 years in remission, you're regarded as being cured. He got to 4 years and 3 months and relapsed. So he ended up with a big tumour in his lung.
Oh, that's terrible.
So he was, on his 17th birthday, he lost his hair for the second time. So he started treatment and went through all of that again for another 12 months. And we thought that we had him in remission, so he was fine for another year, and then came back again with a brain bleed and whatever. But he never stopped giving up. You know, like even when he had the brain bleed, they didn't know if he was going to survive. He was 18 at this point. And he had his picture of his motorbikes up on the wall. I used to take these big photos and put them up on the wall in the hospital, and he'd sit there looking at them and dreaming about getting back on that bike. And after he had the brain bleed, he had to do physio because he had to learn to walk again and use his left side and all of that. Anyway, he ended up getting his license back and got back on a bike again. And he was given 6 to 12 months to live, and he outlived and lived for 18 months. Wow. Because you're not going to tell me how long I'm going to live for.
Fair enough. I didn't know Steve, but clearly a strong character and a very determined sort of bloke, which no doubt he, you know, wow, that's amazing, sir. And I knew a little bit about the story, but didn't know the greater details.
Yeah, incredible.
Wow,
and my mum and dad were just there 100% of the time.
Wow,
you know, Dad would drive him to the hospital for treatment, and because he always thought, oh, this is awful, you know, it must be so bad, he'd tell him jokes the whole way. Steve thought it was great. He'd have these jokes all the way from home to the hospital. Pop telling him all these crazy jokes.
Wow.
Put a bit of happiness into the trip. So.
Wow. And as a parent, that I could only begin to imagine what that's like. So it'd be devastating to go through that. And obviously there'd be a lot of parents watching this podcast that would just be in awe of that. And
well, 8
parents'
years.
Worst nightmare. You know, like unbelievable.
8 years from diagnosis to when he died. But you know, like, he made the most of his life. We helped him make the most of his life and did everything that he wanted to do. So he'd flown a helicopter and skied down a mountain and ridden a motorcycle at over 280 kilometres an hour. Don't tell anybody that.
No, I was going to say, we'll cut that part out.
Not the doctors. But
how did you do that? How did you manage to stay so?
I think a lot of it was just family and friends support. And you know, like just looking at what he wanted and helping support him through what he needed when it got to the point of him not going to live. You know, it was just, let's just make the most of every day. And that's what life's all about, really, isn't it?
It is,
You know,
it absolutely is.
Just live your life to the best, the fullest, happiness and health. And
wow. And you guys are a living example of that. Wow.
But things he wanted us to do was to organise a charity event to raise money for research, so that one day no other kid would have to go through what he'd been through. So that's where the little message came. And so, you know, we sort of sat around with friends and family thinking, what are we going to do? And obviously it was going to be something around motorcycling.
Yeah, of course.
And
no choice.
We were dirt bike riders in those days, so we sort of thought, oh, we'll just do some little dirt bike event and go from there. And a friend actually had a contact with Honda and had a meeting with them, and they actually gave us a $20,000 motorcycle as a prize.
Wow.
So we thought, well, we can't just do a little dirt bike event for this. So, you know, a bit more thinking and talking and whatever, and the Snowy Ride was born.
No way.
And we were only going to do one event. And now we're up to our 20th.
No way. Okay. So that started in
2001 was the first event.
Right.
That was a year after Steve died. So he died in 2000.
Okay.
And by 2001 we had it all sorted.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we were only going to do one event. We ended up with 1,500 entrants. So we thought, oh, maybe we should do another one.
Okay.
So we thought, all right, well, let's go for 2. And then we thought, all right, well, we'll go for 3. And then, all right, well, we'll go for 5. And then, on it goes. So.
Okay. So the Steve Alder Children's Cancer Foundation is what you started, and that obviously incorporates the Snowy Ride.
That's right.
I just for people who are watching, just give us some insight as to what you've been able to achieve in the 20 odd years of having that foundation.
We've been, so fortunate to have, again, fabulous friends and family, and we've picked up you as a friend and a volunteer.
Well, not so fabulous, but
but it's just everybody pulling together for the one purpose, which is raising money for children's cancer research, so that one day, and there will be a cure one day, we're getting closer to it, but we've been able to donate in excess of $8 million over the 20 years.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
And
and just to be able to take something as heartbreaking and tragic and devastating as Steve's death and turn it into a legacy, Sue, is something that I'm in awe of, just to be able to do that. Well, I couldn't even begin to get my head around how that's happened.
I just sort of sat back and thought, well, you can either sit back and go, oh, poor me, it's not fair, and go down into a big hole, or you can go, rightio, well, let's do something about this.
Wow.
Other kids are losing their life, and we've got the capability and we've got the support. Let's just get out there and do as much as we can do to make a difference for other kids and other families. So,
and you absolutely have made a massive difference.
That's what we're doing.
Absolutely, Hence why Sue has the AM, and that's that definitely explains that. It's something something you should be really proud of, Sue.
Thank you, Joel.
Extremely, and I'm honoured to be part of it as a volunteer. And the highlight of my my adult life is heading down in the snow, and for people that watched the podcast before, I interviewed my dad, and as a young bloke growing up around motorcycle racing up at Bathurst, so the Snowy Ride is very similar to Bathurst, motorbikes everywhere, motorcyclists around, so
all with the passion.
Exactly right. Without the riots.
Yes.
There's been no riots at Fredbo, thankfully, but
oh, they're well behaved.
They're too old now.
True. Things that it's done for me, obviously, is giving me something to do. Like when your child dies, you just can't get out of bed. You think, you've got other children and family and whatever, but you just have to make yourself get out of bed. You just don't feel like getting out of bed. So to have a purpose, to get up and know that you've got to go and do this, gives you a reason for getting out of bed and for getting on with your life. And
sometimes you do need that, as you said.
You do.
And I always find that a lot in my work, people trying to find that purpose. They can spend, after something tragic like that, can spend decades searching and never find it.
That's right. So I've been really fortunate that it's all come to fruition.
But you have to make that. I mean, as much as you've been fortunate, you have to make that luck.
So it doesn't happen without good hard work.
Correct, exactly right. Sue, and
long
absolutely.
days and long nights.
Exactly right.
But it's worth it in the end. You think about these other kids that every day there's a new child being diagnosed with cancer, and every week there's 3 losing their life to cancer.
Wow.
So you just have to keep doing what we're doing.
Absolutely. Part of the whole Tune Up podcast, Sue, and part of what I'm trying to do is talk a little bit about mental health, but not so much in terms of awareness of mental health, but more so around seeking help. And obviously for someone as yourself going through that that devastating situation, and I wanted to, I guess, get your take on mental health and seeking help and the benefits that you may have seen in your life in terms of people reaching out for help.
Definitely. Well, I think one of the big issues is that a lot of people don't realise that they do need some help and support. And quite often you feel that you're alone and you're the only one. And I think you really just need to reach out to someone for some help sometimes when you're feeling like that, because it makes such a difference. Even just to sit and have a chat. That's all it involves, really. Just sit and have a chat, and if you need some extra support, well, it can be worked out. But people just don't realise how lonely they are. I think they just sort of get caught up in their bubble of life, and they just don't realise that there is support out there, and you can easily get it. So, if you're feeling like that, or if you're wondering why you're feeling like that, like my brother, for example.
I was going to ask you.
He's been in and out of a number of different institutions, and he doesn't like the medication and things like that, and he doesn't think that he needs support. But we've got his life sort of worked out to the best that we can.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, but it's his life, and he's happy with the way that it is to a degree.
Yeah.
And I mean, he doesn't have any contact with his kids.
Okay.
He misses that, which is unfortunate, but he knows that it comes back to, unfortunately, the way that he...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And totally his prerogative to live his life his way. And I'm with you, like not everyone has to take medication or go and see a psychologist or live the perfect life. Sometimes you've got to learn to live with the mental health you have,
Well, thank you, and thank you for all of your participation.
Oh, no problems. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be part of it, and thank you for your openness and honesty today, sir. Really appreciate that. And thank you for coming on the podcast and telling your story. You've been listening to the Tune Up Podcast. Thanks for the ride. We'll pick you up next time.